Hey there. I'm finishing up Dad's book titled Before Aspirin and Other Things with a couple of closing stories. This one is titled The Delivery Truck. Dad says, I was large for my age at 13. The year was 1940, and my dad owned a country store. He also had a delivery truck, which I was happily learning to drive. It was also 1940, as I said, and the military draft had taken away so many young fellows that Dad could not find anyone to work at the store. Actually, I was delightfully gratified to see those guys leave because their absence propelled me, unchallenged, into the driver's seat of the store truck. Consequently, there was no option for Dad but to allow me to haul feed, seed, fertilizer, and groceries in the pickup. Ecstatic joy indeed ran through my bones as I thought of shifting those gears, skidding those tires, honking the horn at my friends. Wow! Since domestic telephones were scarce in those days, I was on the store bicycle at daybreak, going from house to house, 10 miles a day, taking grocery orders. And since most homes in our town had chickens and cows, I took feed orders as well. After the purchases were filled at the store, I then delivered them on the truck. I also was expected to haul tons of 100-pound sacks of feed for mules and oxen to the logging camps, a task I had not duly contemplated. But all this went along with truck driving privileges. It didn't take long, however, for me to get gruesomely weary of all this work. But when there's a need, a way is provided to meet the wish, and this is where my friend Curtis steps into the picture. Curtis, indeed, was willing to give me at least half of his kingdom if I would teach him how to drive the truck. So, on occasion, I would let him sit close to me and steer and shift the gears until he actually learned to drive. Suddenly, a glorious bright light flashed, and I discovered a way to ease my burden of labor and catch up on some of my comic book reading at the same time. To make that happen, I presented a proposition to my friend he could not resist. If he would unload the groceries and feed at the proper places, I would, in turn, let him do all the driving. Curtis took the bait, and for many weeks I simply went along for the ride and read my comic books. Gee whiz, what a good life, that is, until the awful day ended it all. My happy chauffeur's older sister operated a beauty shop in their family home and used vinegar by the gallon for hair rinses. It was a busy morning for her that day. She had a lady in every chair and was rapidly running out of vinegar. Curtis was dispatched to Dad's store to get 6 gallons of the stuff to be delivered immediately. As for me, my friend couldn't have arrived at a better time. The truck was already filled with grocery and feed orders, ready to take out. I had also traded 12 comic books for a dozen I hadn't read and couldn't wait to get to them. Simply put, the sight of Curtis filled my soul with sheer gladness. Convincingly, I told my friend if we hurried, he could drive the truck, take the groceries in, and still get the vinegar to his sister in plenty of time. At least I thought we could. But we were a mile late, about an hour or so. After all, what did I know about women in the beauty shop waiting for vinegar? Curtis was a cheerful whistler, and upon arrival at his home, our last stop, he bounded through the front door, his lips melodiously pursed in bird song. Then, abruptly, the whistling stopped. The next sound that I heard was Curtis crying out to his mother, "Mama, don't! Ouch! Mama, my sunburn! Ouch!" Then I heard his mother shout in awesome, focused anger, "Now where is that delivery boy?" I, indeed, with all prudent foresight, rapidly double-clutched my legs into passing gear, slid the case of vinegar onto the back porch, raced with all my might back to the truck. I knew then that the curtain to my delightful arrangement with Curtis was rapidly falling. Not surprisingly, my pal's sister could wait no longer, so she called the store. Dad sent the vinegar to her in a taxi. I sat on a box in the back of the store, cringing under Dad's austere interrogation, confessing all. After that, though and through expediency and much anxiety, I gave avid attention to my delivery task for many days afterward. Later in life, I pondered how easy it is to succumb to charming enticements. People make choices. I chose to shirk my duties and become a tempter to Curtis and devised an arrangement he could not resist for my own benefit. This boyhood experience, as harmless as it was, nevertheless underscores the power of human desire. Many persons are obsessed with wants and cravings most of the time, and they will often do what is necessary to attain them, right or wrong. The attraction is, I want what I want, and I want it now. Fact is, though, the consequences are hardly ever factored in, and they may be dire. So, how does a person deal with wrong temptations? First, help from heaven is needed. Doesn't the Lord's Prayer explicitly call upon the Creator to lead us not into temptation and away from evil? You should recite it often. Secondly, doesn't the epistle declare that the offensive allurements are a common happening to all humans, but a way is always provided out, found in 1 Corinthians 10:13? Albeit few find it, but they can. Historically and biblically, God has made persons fearfully and wonderfully. The scriptures say in Psalm 139 that God has created all with mental and physical capacities to strive against the overwhelming odds and overcome them all. Indeed, this reality is little known, but it should be etched in the heart and mind. Furthermore, make the effort. Learn how to exercise your God-given power to resist unsound enticements. You can do it. If not, you too may find yourself on the vinegar run, or worse. Dun, 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 dun.